Pablo, I think it's the last time you're with us before the World Cup kicks off, so I wanted to talk to you about your World Cup experience. Am I right in thinking you only went to one, is that right?
Yes, yeah, only Brazil, 2014.
That surprised me. That was 2014. Why were you not called up for previous ones? No, I don't know. No, I'm not being an idiot. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, well, no, just because, I don't know, I was playing in 2010 in South Africa. I was playing for Man City. I was playing well. I was only 24. I was at my prime, but Maradona. I was called up for the last two qualifier games against Peru and Uruguay, and we needed to win these two games to qualify for the World Cup. But my last game playing for Man City away from home against Aston Villa, I pulled my hamstring. I flew back to Argentina, I did my scan, and it was very small T on my hamstring, and Maradona was fuming about it. So I not been I didn't make the last the World Cup list for the World Cup. So it was a shame because I thought I could have been. I had a good experience to be in South Africa.
Yeah. Am I right? Was that one of the first time you met Maradona, Pablo? So you're meeting like your idol, this incredible player, and he's shouting at you for getting injured against Aston Villa.
Well, but you know, Diego, he was a bit like that, and he was the manager at that time of the national team, and it was a very difficult time for him. It was so much pressure on him and the national team because we needed to get 6 points to qualify for the World Cup, and so many things going around his head, and he was very upset with me because he asked me not to play against Aston Villa on a Monday night because the game against Peru was on Friday. And it was very short time to recover for that game because we all know that to fly to Argentina it takes more than 18 hours fly, and he was a bit worried because I was the only right back in the list. So, but I say I cannot tell Mark Hughes that I don't want to play for my team. I just need to
get Maradona to tell him.
I was only 23. I cannot go to the manager and say, boss, I don't want to play on Monday night against Aston Villa because I want to be 100% fit for the game on Friday. When you're playing for your club, you have to respect your club and play every single game. And then it was unlucky that I just felt something in my hamstring after 92 minutes. But it was at least something that I couldn't be able to play on Friday against Peru at home. And Maradona was a bit angry with me. But, well, those experiences that sometimes you have in football.
Yeah, then you fast forward 4 years, and obviously you're called up then. So what's that moment like when you know you're going?
Well, of course, that was something that made me feel so happy to be in the World Cup list. Because I think when you're playing football, one of your dreams is to have the experience of being in a World Cup. And I have to say I've been very lucky because we played 7 games. I played all the games as well. And I can say that I'm of the few players that have been lucky enough to be involved in a World Cup final. That is not for many players, and that's why being at the Maracanã singing the Argentinian anthem in front of so many fans at that time, it's been a wonderful experience. Even if we lost against Germany, that game, I have to say that was one of my greatest experience in football, of course.
We could do a whole show. We just talk about that whole World Cup because so much happened. Before we get to the final, Pablo, where did you watch the Brazil-Germany game?
We were at the hotel. We only watched the first half because we needed to go for training, and we were in the bus going into the training ground, and we couldn't believe it.
No.
You know, that was something incredible. We were really surprised about this, because you can expect that Germany could beat Brazil, but not 7-1. And that was surely, for Brazilian player, was a very tough day. And after that game, everyone thought Germany will score 7 against us as well in the final. But I have to say that we played a really good game. Defensively, been really solid. We missed 3 really clear chances. That's so in a game that close, that's small details make the difference. And we probably had the best chance of that game. We couldn't score.
Yeah, you think of that final, you think the Higuain chance, don't you, Pablo? Like, what's it like in the locker room afterwards? Like, what's he like? Because he knows, obviously, he will be the one where everyone kind of point the finger at.
Yeah, well, but listen, we all can miss clear chances in a game. It's been a very difficult time for Higuain after that, because then we lost 2 consecutive Copa Americas as well against Chile. He missed the penalty, and it's been hard for Higuain again, because these days for the football player, if you miss a good chance in an important game, then on social media and all that, you get so much abuse, and it's very difficult. But of course, the whole team, we've been with him. Those things can happen in football. So many great players in football missed penalties in important games. It happened in football. You just need to accept it and move on. But of course, you always need to support your teammates at very difficult time, because it's not easy it wasn't easy for Higuain at that time.
Do you swap everything you won at Manchester City for that goal to go in and you win the World Cup?
Sorry, but what do you mean, Dan?
So you won the Premier League, obviously, at City. Would you exchange that for a World Cup win to win that final?
Well, I think winning the World Cup for your country would be something amazing, probably the best thing that can happen for a football player. But also when you're playing for your club, and for me, the experience of winning the first Premier League medal, it was something that's been really, really good as well. I have to say, probably yes. I wish we have won that World Cup. Because you're representing your country, when you're playing for your country, is something very pure, something that you've been doing for so many years, but with the people of your country, with the people that you grew up and all that. It's special. It's different when you're playing for your country. But then at the club level, you also enjoy every single moment, and for me, winning the Premier League was...
no, you said you hate them. You said basically really club legend Pablo Zabaleta turns his back on Manchester City and wish he won the World Cup. That's it. That's what I was hearing.
Hey, at a different scale, I would trade all my MLS medals, all my MLS rings.
All your children.
You get out. Not even to win the World Cup, but to have the opportunity to play in the World Cup.
There you go.
So you know when Pablo was talking about how Argentina needed to win those 2 matches.
Yes, yeah.
Going into the 2010 World Cup to have the opportunity to qualify. Well, the team that they were competing against was none other than this guy.
Wow.
So, and here was the thought process for us. If Argentina doesn't get the result against Peru, they're going to be under pressure. And we play against Brazil the last game. We win at home against Paraguay. We go to Brazil, and it's now in the hands of Brazil for keeping Argentina out of the World Cup.
Right.
So the idea was, we win against Paraguay, they don't get the result against Peru, and Brazil says, all right, you do what you do, you qualify to the World Cup, Argentina are out. Palermo gets a lucky touch, center forward for Argentina time. Lucky touch, lucky deflection. They end up beating Peru. We lose to Paraguay. We missed a penalty. And guess what? We actually went to Brazil and got a result against Brazil, but they ended up beating Uruguay, and then they went through.
Wow.
Sliding doors, baby.
There we go.
Sliding doors. But I would trade everything for the opportunity to be in a World Cup.
Right, we kind of went off tangent a little bit there.
Yes, yeah, we did.
So let's go focus back, shall we, on the World Cup this time round. Pablo, let's take. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.